Hey everyone, welcome back to Great Northwest Weaponry. This is Thomas, and today we're doing a video that's going to be a little different than anything we've done before, and this is going to be the kickoff of what I personally hope is going to be a very short series of videos. You'll see why I hope that when I get into this. We are talking about Nambu problems. Now, this is something that if you're a collector of World War I and II firearms, particularly World War II firearms, you're going to have likely either had one of these problems yourself or know someone who has. I, for instance, have now a Nambu Type 14 and a Nambu Type 94. I just picked up the Type 94 and I'm very, very excited about it. But this is where the problems come into the picture, and I'm going to show a couple reels from my attempt at doing a first shots short here. Quite possibly the ugliest gun of the Second World War. This is chambered in 8mm Nambu. I only have the mag loaded to 4 as the spring in the mag seems a bit stuck. I don't know that it's going to cycle very well. Might have to finick with it a bit. We'll see. But right now I've got it loaded 4 rounds, 8mm Nambu. Let's see if it functions. Nothing happening. Go ahead and dump that round. Try again. Nothing. See what I was talking about the mag spring being stuck? There we go. In short, the trigger does not want to engage the sear on this. Now, I'm hoping that this is going to be a very easy fix. I ordered a Wolf spring kit, and that is going to be the part 2 video, is installing that spring kit and then testing this pistol to see if it actually works. I'm intending on doing that as soon as the spring kit arrives, so this will probably be the next full-length video that we do on the channel. Might do a knife demo in between now and then. I'm trying to get content up and rolling again, and yes, I am still injured for any of you who have been keeping track of my posts, and I did still crawl out into the woods anyway to attempt to do a first shot short with this because I very much wanted to. The short that I posted earlier today / yesterday was actually intended to be the first shot short of this, but that didn't happen. So the first shots, as well as the traditional review that I always do, is going to be a bit delayed in lieu of this Nambu Troubles series. Now, I got very lucky with my Type 14. I know a number of people who've had problems with Type 14s. Mine is a pretty early one, 12/1, so December of 1937, I believe. Japanese dates are different. Hirohito ruled from 1925 to 1945 as emperor, so that period of time is when most of these World War II pistols will have been made. Pretty much any of them. They did cycle back to stuff from the previous 2 emperors as well as they got more desperate as the war went on, but anything made during World War II is going to have a code that is going to have on the right a 2-digit number or a 1-digit number, and then also a 1 or 2-digit number on the left. So from actually looking at the gun, the number on the left is the year and the number on the right is the month. In this case, my Type 14 is a 12/1, of which would be the 12th year of the Meiji rule, so 1937, and then first month of the year, whereas my Type 94, we're looking at an 18/11, so November of 1943. So it's a relatively late one, but not a last-ditch example. And there doesn't seem to be anything particularly wrong with the gun, just some weak springs. I did manage to get 2 shots off, but it was a bit difficult. I'm going to demonstrate, and this is... First off, firing pins on the Type 94 aren't as notoriously brittle as firing pins on the Type 14, so bear that in mind with what I'm about to do. Showing clear here, there is nothing inside the gun, nothing in the magazine. Now, you have to have the magazine inside the gun to engage. You can see there's this magazine safety that actually sticks into the bottom of the trigger there, and when you insert the mag, that moves out of the way, as you can see there. Now, we've shown clear. I'm gonna just point at the wall to my left. This should be firing, but it's not. And I was having to really reef on it and try and struggle to get it to do anything. Now, the Type 94 is notoriously one of the most dangerous pistols of World War II for one very simple reason. The sear, seen right there, below my finger, is fully exposed. Now, you can also see when I pull this trigger, that wiggles a little bit, but it's not fully engaging. What it should be doing is pushing all the way in and firing, as you just heard there. Now, if you look closely, you can see when I remove my finger from the trigger, that will slide back to flush with the side of the gun. So the sear on these is fully exposed, hence them being widely regarded as one of the most dangerous pistols of World War II. Just picked this up from my friends at the Warfront, and having troubles with a Nambu is something that you can never fault the store that you got a gun from. You can't fault the store for that. This is a common problem with Nambus, is them just not functioning properly. This is something that goes with the territory of collecting old guns generally, but Nambu pistols in particular. I got really lucky with my Type 14 as it functions flawlessly. Type 94 though, I am experiencing the dreaded Nambu problems. I'm just going to be calling this series Nambu Problems, volumes 1 through, I'm hoping, only 2, but we will see. Again, Wolf Springs makes full spring kits for both the Type 94 and the Type 14 and the Papa Nambu. So I've got one of those on the way, and it should be here in a week or so. And hopefully then I'll get to put this back together and test it out. Maybe by then I'll even be lucky and won't be walking around on crutches trying to do so in the woods, because that was quite an experience. But we will do a full historical demo of the Type 94 after it is functioning at least close to properly. Again, problems with old guns sometimes are just unavoidable, but a lot of it with this seems to be just fine. It is a very simple matter of the trigger not engaging the sear properly. And I will be going through how to replace those springs when I do so. Furthermore, the mag spring in this is extremely weak. I found that it would just get stuck like right in here. So if I tried to do anything more than like 3 rounds, it would get stuck. It's very weak. I do have a replacement mag spring coming. I don't know if I'm gonna really be able to very easily do that. I think this bottom plate is supposed to just slide off. Probably gonna need to blast the heck out of it with some ballistol, but after that I should be able to replace the mag spring, and hopefully that will fix that part of the issue, because again, I never even got to find out if that was a real issue in the gun when firing, because it wouldn't fire at all. So I was doing single shots. I was simply putting a single round in the mag and then loading it, and it was loading properly. And when it fired, the firing pin was striking and firing and cycling. It would slide back and lock. Everything seemed to be functioning properly, even though on both of these examples, the exterior finish is a little rough. This one, it's actually pretty good on that side. On this side, it's a bit more worn. But again, such is to be expected. Anyway, I hope you all liked this video. Again, something a little different, and just trying to get some sort of content while I am injured and not really able to go out into the woods and do shooting as I typically do. Yesterday was my first attempt to go shooting in a while, and it was a massive pain. Lugging a steel plate on crutches through the woods is not something I advise you ever attempt. It's terribly, terribly exhausting. But anyway, I hope you all enjoyed. It's been Thomas with Great Northwest Weaponry, and I will see you next time.